Today can be the turning point in your life by making a simple decision.
Fundamental questions of navigation. Where am I? Where am I going? And how do I get there from here?
I invite the leaders of our planet to ask themselves these three questions before they make any crucial decisions.
But if you don't make decisions, you're going to stay right where you are.
We are all map makers.
We are in a time of transition.
If we're going to change, we have to change the direction that we're going.
Our planet needs leaders who know where they want to go.
When we change the direction we're going, then we want to make sure we're going in the right direction.
Leaders who can see the big picture.
Because if we're not, we're going to either go backwards or we're going to stay where we are.
Recognizing the psychological and the spiritual shifts and changes that need to be made, often from the inside to the outside.
To be able to shape your future, you have to be willing and able to change your paradigm.
Complex journeys require navigation. The path to the truth is one such journey. This is your GPS. Hairstyling services provided by J.D. Edwards Salon and Spa, Palmdale Shopping Plaza, Madera Street. Accessories provided by Chevette Williamson Jewelry. Standout jewelry for standout women.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. I'm your host, Michelle Malcolm, and as always, it's a pleasure to be in your company today. Thank you so much for tuning in and making GPS a part of your afternoon routine. I'm calling this show today When Lies Take Wings and the Dangers That Lie Within. When lies take wings and the dangers that lie within. I promise you it's going to be a very thought-provoking show today. And I'm not going to be specifically focusing in on one lie that led to consequences, but in general, this whole idea of what happens when a lie takes wings. And then all of a sudden we see this phenomenon that happens. Some people call it the herd mentality. Some people call it the mob mentality. Some people call it mass psychosis. Whatever you call it, there is a direct consequence as to what happens when lies take wings and how it impacts us as a collective. And especially here in the Bahamas, I think this is such an important conversation for us to have because we have become experts at running with lies. And we need to realize that as a small, developing nation as we are, we have to stop this. We really, really have to stop this. If we expect our nation to thrive in an ever increasingly competitive world. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And again, I will use some things as examples, but we're not going to be zoning in specifically on the examples. I'm just using these examples to set up what we're going to be talking about today. In the meantime, here's how you can become a part of our conversation. The telephone numbers to call are 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271. 801-0271. We are streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. If you haven't already done so, please like and share the show. Also streaming live to our YouTube channel. And you can also catch us on Cable Bahamas channel 974. Of course, we're coming to you by way of radio. Thank you for all of you who have tuned in, whether it's here in New Providence, Grand Bahama, Family Islands, from around the world. A huge welcome to you all. And of course, you can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device so that you never miss a beat when it comes to what Global 99.5 FM has going on, whether it's GPS or any of our other shows, or, that's the place to be. So you can always download the app so you can carry us with you whenever and wherever you need your GPS fix. Okay. So now that we've taken care of all of that, let's begin with what inspired this show today. We all heard the story about the 12-year-old who said she was almost abducted by an unknown assailant. She gave a description: tall, light-skinned, bald-headed man. And because the community is already on edge as it relates to this increase in sexual violence against women and children, people are afraid and angry. It just so happens that the week prior to the young lady making her report, a sexual predator, a convicted sexual offender or predator, whatever you want to call him, was released from prison after doing his time. And so when this young lady comes forward and she says, a man just tried to abduct me, the first thing that happened was a mob formed. A mob of angry citizens formed. And this mob proceeded to go to the home of the convicted sex offender who had been released from prison the week before. One Mr. Sidney Cooper is his name. And they went there armed and ready to do some real harm to this man. Rock, bottle, cutlass is what they went to this man's house. And God knows what would have happened to him if the police didn't intervene and take him into protective custody. Now, the word that went out was that a 12-year-old girl was almost abducted and that the suspect was this Sidney Cooper. That's the first thing that went out. A couple of people sent it to me. And there was all this uproar, and Sidney Cooper is already back in police custody after only being released from prison for a week. A week later, he's already back in custody for allegedly trying to abduct this 12-year-old girl. That was the story. I received it as well. My training as a journalist is that before you run with this, try to verify if this is legit by seeing if it's on any other legitimate news source other than somebody forwarding you a video. Couldn't find it on any other news source. The only thing I found was that he had been taken into custody. And then we hear that he was taken into custody for his protection because of this mob that had been formed that was going to do some serious damage because they assumed that he was the alleged perpetrator in this case of the 12-year-old. Now, a lot of people would have heard that video or seen that video and not gotten the second story. the second layer of the story. They just run with the first. Okay? So now you've got two layers. You've got layer number one, 12-year-old girl, somebody tried to abduct her. It must be this man that was just released from prison last week. So that's the first layer of the story. And people literally took up arms to go do damage based on that first layer. The second layer of the story that we heard is that, well, wait a minute, yeah, he was taken into police custody, but for his protection. Okay, so is there more to this than we initially thought? Then the third layer of the story comes out, and this is the bombshell layer, where police are saying, based on evidence that we have before us, video, surveillance, whatever else they used to determine this, it does not appear, based on evidence that we have before us, that the 12-year-old story is not exactly true. So now we get this third layer of the story where, wait a minute, maybe this young lady didn't quite represent the truth when she said that she was almost abducted by this tall, light-skinned, bald-headed man. Police say, we searched, we did our research, and apparently this didn't happen as she claimed. Now, again, I don't want you to think this show is all about her and that particular situation, because that is really just a symptom of what we see happening in our society. When lies take wings and the consequences that result after. Obviously, Sidney Cooper is no saint. Obviously, he was imprisoned for a reason. Obviously, he's now considered a registered sex offender for a reason. I am not here in defense of Sidney Cooper. I am here to talk about what happens with this mob mentality that we fall into when lies take wings. And that could be the situation of a young lady making a false report. That could be a situation of a politician telling a lie to try to cover their own backside, or to try to defame someone else because that person is unveiling some truth that they don't want to be revealed. It could be a global lie that causes people out of fear to rush and put something into their bodies that they wouldn't otherwise put. No matter what the original lie is, we find that there is this phenomenon where people who are otherwise sensible people will make a decision based on not their own research, but on what everybody else is doing. And the danger in today's world, especially here in the Bahamas, is what happens when you add social media to the mix of this phenomenon. Because anybody could get on social media and anybody could make an allegation against anybody. And many times you don't even see the face of the person making the allegation. They could make up a fake profile. They don't even have to show their face, but they put something out there that is not the truth, and people run with that thing like the life depends on it. And unfortunately, some people only get the first layer. So even after the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth layer has been revealed, they still running with that first layer. And this is the danger. It's a serious thing. Now, just as a reminder, this is what took place here in New Providence. After the initial report that someone tried to abduct a 12-year-old, keep in mind that we are already in a very sensitive time when people are afraid, people are angry because of everything we see happening in our society. And in the midst of that, there's this allegation that comes forward and the mob mentality kicks in. So here now is a reminder of what happened in that particular case.
Bring him outside, man. Bring him out there, man. Just this man, man. Bring that boy outside. He just reached there. Old rapist. See him close to get on by all the jokers, boy.
Outraged residents swarming at Sidney Cooper's doorstep this morning after they accused him of attempting to abduct a 12-year-old girl just a stone's throw away from Cooper's residence in the Grove. Police, however, being forced to take the recently released sex offender in custody for his own protection and later confirmed that Cooper is not the suspect involved in the attempted abduction. Hours after that incident, Eyewitness News got a chance to speak with Cooper's mom, Sandra Mae Cooper. During that exclusive interview, individuals drove past heckling rapist, while residents threatened my cameraman and I to leave the area. Nonetheless, Cooper's mom explained what exactly transpired this morning.
I went out this morning, right? And I leave him inside the house, in the bed. I said, Sidney, I said, stay inside, don't come outside. So when I was coming back from out, I see these load of boys meet me right on the corner. They're coming across. So they're saying, oh, we come for your son, we come for your son, we come for your son. He just touched a young girl across the corner. So I tried to tell him, I said, not my son, because from he come out, he wasn't out the yard, he wasn't on the street.
It was at that moment when Ms. Cooper says she immediately became concerned about her and her son's safety.
I could have get killed this morning. He could have get killed this morning. When the crowd come, I was scared. I was scared because I was to the door. I was scared. When I look around and I see the police car, I said, thank God.
Now, shortly after police arrived,
the officer who lived across the corner, she named Tom. We just call her Tom. She followed the police truck and she tell the officer, she said, officer, I was sitting on my porch. She said, and I watched this slim guy touch this schoolgirl and run down through the corner here. She said, it wasn't Sidney. She said, look at Sidney. Sidney short and thick.
She says police had their hands full trying to stabilize the unrest. And at that point, she says getting a hold of Cooper had become officers' main focus.
They asked me where he is. I said, he is inside. They stand to the door with me, watch me put the key in the door, open the door. They going inside. They talk to him. He was trying to defend himself to them. Said, officer, I don't go nowhere. I don't come out the house.
Meanwhile, residents allege that Cooper was last seen in the Bain and Grantstown area since being released last week Friday. His mom, though, says that could not be further from the truth.
People sure saying they see him in Bean Town, and he hasn't been out nowhere.
As it relates to whether her son's extensive criminal past could have prompted residents to react the way they did this morning, and perhaps the wider community being outraged at the sex offender, Ms. Cooper says this.
I apologize to the public for whatsoever he do, whosoever he touch, because I talk and I talk and I talk and I talk and I talk to him till I tired.
Following this morning's incident, Ms. Cooper says she's in fear not just for her son's life, but for her life as well. And at this point, she's pleading with the public to give her family peace now that Cooper has served his time in prison.
Be lenient on him, leave it alone, let him rest, because he done spent his 6 years. He done come out, and y'all still holding something against him, and y'all adding on to that.
Okay, so for the record, let me just clarify, because what the police did say was not that the young girl lied, but it didn't occur as it was presented to have occurred. Okay? So I want to be very careful with my language. so that I don't cause another problem that I'm right here now trying to talk about. Okay, I want to be very careful with my language. But the bottom line is the police is saying that the incident was not the way it was presented. But the bottom line is that this mob was about to do some serious damage based on the way that it was presented. Now, we here in the Bahamas, we have a propensity. We're very, very good storytellers. Oh, we could tell a story. If a Bahamian tell a story on you, God help you. Because by the time they finish with that, God help you. We are very, very good at this. The challenge is that it doesn't stop there. There is this herd mentality that takes over the minds of otherwise sensible thinking people. And all of a sudden, everybody jumping on this bandwagon. Mind you, they know what happened. In most cases, they have no clue what happened. All they know is they jumping on this bandwagon and they going with the crowd. And this is very dangerous because what if the crowd is wrong? What if the crowd is reacting not from fact, but from fear? But because you want to fit in, because you want to be a part of the crowd, you just going along with it. This is the world we live in today. And this is why, in my opinion, you have so much confusion being added on top of confusion, because right now it is very popular to buy into what people would otherwise say is not truth, but they don't want to stand out apart from the crowd. So they going along with the crowd just so they could have that safety of being with the crowd. Whether or not they have done their own research or believe even, that don't matter. Long as you with the crowd, you good. I dare say that just because a lot of people believe something don't mean it's true. You got a lot of people believing something, that's a lie. So even though people go with the crowd for the safety of the crowd, the challenge is, more often than not, the crowd is wrong. But you with that crowd, because you don't have the backbone to stand up and say, hold on now. This is wrong. We have a call on the line. Call back up to GPS.
God bless. Good afternoon, Michelle. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I can barely hear you on the phone, by the way.
We can hear you perfectly, though.
Right.
At least I can.
The thing here with I'm glad I listened to that clip that you played earlier, and then I'm glad you made it clear after the clip was done that you were not wanting to give the impression that the 12-year-old was lying.
Right.
Because in that clip, apparently somebody saw that young girl being touched, other than her being reporting it.
Right.
So apparently that incident seemed indeed to have happened. Now, what concerns me too, Michelle, and you speak to it all the time today, crowd or majority of people or quantity of people never make something right. It's the morality or the principle of it, whether it is right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a saying that goes around, Michelle, that the Bahamas is suffering from truth decay. You ever heard that?
No, I haven't.
Somebody told me some years ago they saw that posted on a wall somewhere, and when they told it to me, it was like, oh boy, I mean, are we that bad? That bad off as a people? This situation here that you're talking about, Michelle, I honestly, I will never fault anybody for being wrong, whether that's an individual or whether it's a crowd of people. But you know what I try to do? I try to put myself in the position to understand why people respond the way they do.
Well, we're going to get into why today. We're going to get into why today. We are going to get into why today because this is a global phenomenon. It doesn't just happen in the Bahamas.
Indeed, it is. Because you have the mob mentality all over the world, like in the United States, for example, like with racism. You see how Black Americans carry on when a Black person is injured or
all of a sudden,
that mob mentality, man, that kicks in. But see, my thing here is, Michelle, I just simply wanted to briefly say this, that is, when you have something that occurs, like child molestation that's now happening, unfortunately, in this country.
Been happening, but now being reported more. But go ahead.
Pardon?
I said it's been happening.
Like I said, I'm not hearing you too clearly, Michelle.
It's been happening, but now it's being recorded more. But go ahead, recorded more.
Yes, I got that, yes. Thanks. Yeah, you're correct there. Michelle, when you have people afraid of this and afraid of that and afraid of the other, and then you have a hot, sensitive situation like the prevalence of child molestation that comes and really troubles the soul of many. Michelle, fear indeed is a serious and a powerful thing. That tends to be a trigger that causes us human beings to behave in ways that normally we might not do, simply because we are afraid either of the unknown or afraid of that which we cannot control, or we are angry over the fact that the government is not carrying out its God-given responsibility to protect the innocent and to punish the guilty. So when you see people out there carrying on the way those fellow Bahamians of ours carried on the other day at Mr. Cooper's house, they obviously were wrong because they had the wrong person apparently arrested, so to speak. But Michelle, people are on the knife edge now. Bahamians are on the knife edge now. Almost anything tips.
I get it.
And see, that is what concerns me more than anything, Michelle, because if anything could tip a society or a community into violence, it says to me that justice is no longer being carried out or seen to be carried out in this country. Because, Michelle, if justice was being carried out, I dare say you would not have had as many Bahamians angry. You would have not have had as many Bahamians committing.
JT, I want you to understand something, and I have another call on hold. I want you to understand something. This show is not about that particular incident.
No.
Let me finish. Like I said, I am only highlighting that incident to set up what this show is about. We can see where somebody goes on social media, as an example, and says, "Oh, this person told me that they didn't like my hair." Then you got this mob of people. Who she thinks she is? She need to mind her business. Why she? How get before? And they run on with the most garbage.
Yeah, some of it is irrational and unfounded.
Based on what one person
I agree with
you. Say.
I agree with you.
This show is bigger than just that incident, and I don't want us to get bogged down in that incident. I see some people commenting and they still missing the point about what this show is about. Because they saying things like, well, you know, the minister put his face out there, and so he must be. You're missing the point.
Michelle, with all due respect to you, I respectfully believe you're going to be fighting a losing battle today with not.
Well, I gotta fight it. I gotta fight it.
Encouraging people not to focus on that, because it's going to be hard for people not to focus on that.
No, but if you let me get through the show, JT, you will see where I'm going with this.
Yes. Okay, well, I agree with you, by the way. It's not about that particular incident.
No, because we do this all the time.
Yeah. Human nature being simple.
I just use that as an example.
Yeah.
But that is not, that specific incident is not what this show is about today.
Yeah. I agree.
So if you give me an opportunity, I will develop the show so you all can understand what I'm talking about.
All right. Thank you for your time there.
All right. Thanks for calling. We have another call on the line. I'm not sure if they're still there.
Hello.
Hi, you're on the air.
Yeah, Ms. Malcolm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, good afternoon. It's the true thing you said. You know, I heard the bishop about must be 10 or 12 years ago say, if we love you, we will lie for you. And if we don't like you, we will lie on you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a culture, a part of our culture, that some are behaving. We will tell a lie, and when we fix that, almost everyone will believe exactly what you are saying.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know that the gentleman, like you say, I don't know him no more than the man in the moon. But if that lady did not tell them beliefs, what really happened, in the midst of all of that, I believe God had already in place to witness, because those people, they come to kill, and to see an innocent soul would have gone down just like that. And we all would have just stand by and just laugh at it. See, I tell you all, his someone get killed. I tell you all, his someone do it. And we ain't hear nobody from the come and say, you know, the Haman have to stop this foolishness. If something is wrong, we speak on wrong. If something is right, we speak on right. And the lady, his own mother, said she was afraid for her own self, because they didn't just come. They come with cutlass and rock and things. They was going to do him right in. You know, see, this is the reason why I always keep telling people, man, we always talking about Bahamas is a Christian nation. We are so full of hypocrisy and lies to the order of the day. So much, even, now the young man, I don't believe he even could walk the road in peace, because somebody, they ready to put something on him to say it's him, you know. And it is bad. It is just bad, Ms. Malcolm. It is bad.
Again, I'm not here in defense of Sidney Cooper, because Lord knows he has done a lot of wrong. Okay,
yes,
so but that is not what this show is about today. I only used that as an example to set up for where I'm going with this show. So let me take a break. I have to take a break.
Okay.
And then I'm going to get deeper into this conversation so we can have a better understanding of how and why this mob mentality exists. Because, like I said, it don't even have to be a situation of a criminal, alleged criminal act. Something as simple as you jumping on the bandwagon to hate on somebody based on what somebody else say, just because it's a popular thing to do, because everybody jumping on this bandwagon to hate on this person. This is the stupidity that we do and think nothing of it. And the challenge is, when you have most people who only go with the first layer, they ain't hear the second and the third and the fourth and the fifth layer of the story. Oftentimes, people's reputations are destroyed, their business is affected, all because we have decided to go with this mob mentality without finding out the truth behind a particular situation. It has to stop. We're going to take this break, and then on the other side of the break, if you allow me, I'm going to play some clips, because this isn't just a problem in the Bahamas. But we are experts at this. So let's take this break. And then when we come back, we're going to look deeper into this herd mentality. Why otherwise sensible people just become a mob under certain circumstances. You'll be amazed at how this thing works. Stay with us. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. This is GPS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims, fence, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
To stay healthy, it's crucial to make sure you get the nutrition you need every day. But it's difficult to get all your recommended vitamins and minerals from food alone. Even in the United States, 94% of people are deficient in at least one nutrient. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 by Longevity is a simple, convenient, and affordable way to help your body get the essential nutrients it needs. It's an advanced plant-driven multivitamin mineral complex that contains certified organic whole foods, trace minerals, and antioxidants. BTT 2.0 supports your body's natural defense system with a proprietary blend of energy-boosting and body-loving nutrients, plus prebiotics, probiotics, amino acids, and enzymes that support digestion. With an unusually high ORAC score of 8,000, you get even more antioxidants to help combat free radicals that can cause damage to your cells. But to get the most benefit and value from any multivitamin, your body must be able to break down the nutrients so you can fully absorb them. Otherwise, they'll just pass through your system without doing any good. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 was specially formulated with synergizing cofactors to ensure you get maximum nutrient absorption. Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0 is the easiest way to give your body the balance and complete daily vitamin mineral supplement it needs for optimal support of your overall health. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
This portion of GPS is brought to you by Tiki Bikini Hut at Junkanoo Beach. Great food, cool tropical drinks, and family fun in the sun.
And we are back. Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company. on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. We are streaming live to our official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM Facebook pages. Please like and share the show if you haven't already done so. We are also streaming live to our YouTube channels, and you can find us on Cable Bahamas Channel 974. The numbers to call: 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, the WhatsApp line for messages and calls, 801-0271, 801-0271. You can also download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and check us out there. And also check us out on Cable Bahamas Channel 974. A huge welcome to all of you who are tuned in by way of radio, whether it's here in New Providence or Grand Bahama, throughout the Family Islands. And those of you who are tuned in from outside the country, welcome, welcome, welcome. Calling the show today, When Lies Take Wings, the consequences that follow. And this show, again, it's not about a specific incident, even though I used that mob that occurred surrounding the report of the alleged abduction attempt of a 12-year-old as an example. That is not specifically what this show is about. It was only setting the stage for what the show is about, and that is about the herd mentality that we in the Bahamas have become experts at. We only got to hear one thing. We ain't got to get the full story. One thing. And we running with that. And by the time we finish, you would swear we was there eyewitness and see for ourselves what's going down. Bahamians are very good storytellers. You would swear that that person was actually there. By the time they finish telling that story, by the time they run with that, God help you if you on the wrong end of that story. Now, we do have some situations where people outright lie, where it's not a misinterpretation of something that happened. You outright lie. And you run with that. And because you got a bunch of friends or your tribe or whatever, they want to cut the throat of the person who you lying on, just based on what you had to say and this phenomenon of being a part of this herd. Because, well, all these people can't be wrong, so I got to join in with them because I don't want them to not like me. So it must be true because all these people saying it. Meanwhile, you're destroying somebody's life. But do you care? This, again, is a phenomenon that doesn't just take place in the Bahamas, even though we have become experts at it. There's this thing called a herd mentality. And in this clip, get a better understanding of what causes the herd mentality.
Thus, it might be that one family camped near a spring, and another camped for the spring and for company, and a third because two families had pioneered the place and found it good. And when the sun went down, perhaps 20 families and 20 cars were there. This quote from John Steinbeck's classic, The Grapes of Wrath, paints a powerful reality about human nature. It depicts humans as the social animals that we are, reminding us that in times of uncertainty, people are afraid, and when we're afraid, we rely upon the herd to guide us. Sure, the crowd's guidance can be a useful crutch to lean upon, but what happens when we use it too often, when we're just lazy? The concept we're teasing out here is known as herding behavior, and we can define it as people doing what others do instead of using their own information to make decisions. This happens often. We see a large number of people acting in the same way, and we think there's no way that they could all be wrong. They must know something that we don't. We start to base our decisions off of the assumption that everyone else has done their research or knows something that we don't know. But that's not always the case. Consider the following example offered by Robert Schiller, an economist at Yale. Suppose two restaurants open next door to each other, Restaurant A and Restaurant B. The very first customer sees 2 empty restaurants and must choose which one to eat at based only on their appearance. Let's say she chooses restaurant A. The second customer sees one person eating at restaurant A and an empty restaurant B. She makes her choice based on 2 things. First, the appearance of each restaurant. That's her own information. And secondly, the fact that the first customer chose restaurant A. That's external information. If the second customer chooses to go to restaurant A, then the third customer will see 2 people eating at restaurant A and an empty restaurant B. I think you see where this is going. As people continue to join the crowd, they prompt others to do the same. Eventually, each customer might end up at restaurant A, which could actually be the poorer restaurant. What's happened is people have ignored their own information, and that creates a distorted signal chain. We think that everyone has made an informed decision, and that decision appears to have value. But in reality, everyone has based their decisions on the decisions made by others. And because of this, our decision contains no real valuable information. These chains of behavior are sometimes called informational cascades, and they help us explain everything from standard conformity to fads and booms and crashes. Speaking of booms and crashes, you might remember the financial crisis of 2008. While an event as cataclysmic and complex as that cannot be explained by one behavioral failure, research suggests that herding behavior may have played a role in decision-making by investment managers. Investors concerned with their own reputation have shown to mimic the investment decisions of other managers, ignoring their own private information. It's worth returning to the idea that in times of uncertainty, people are afraid, and when we're afraid, we rely upon the herd to guide us. As the financial world collapsed in 2008 and uncertainty loomed above us all, there's no question that our herd mentality kicked in, and it probably played a role in our decision-making. Whether or not we're aware of it, our reliance upon the herd plants the seeds which will influence the stores we shop at, the restaurants we try out, and even the universities we choose to attend. The solution is not to avoid all external information. Rather, the idea is to become more aware of the information we're using to make decisions, especially when we're observing what other people are doing. The herd is not synonymous with bad. However, our over-reliance on the herd prompts ignorance and distorts the information we use to make decisions.
Now, I want you to think back on decisions that you have made in your life. And I want you to analyze how much of that was really your independent thinking or how much of that was influenced by the herd mentality. And you know, younger people especially fall prey to this, they call it peer pressure. So, you know, you as a young person, you don't want to be singled out or not with the in crowd. So whatever they do, and you can do too, because you want to fit in, you want to be accepted, you want to be liked. And so you're going to do something that your parents probably raised you not to do, or in your own common sense, if you stop to think, you know, this don't make no sense, you wouldn't do it individually, but you can do it anyway because that's what the crowd doing. I get in with the crowd because God forbid I stand out. God forbid I think on my own. God forbid I have an independent thought. We have young people today committing suicide because they feel like they are being made to be the outsider. Nobody wants to be their friend. And so, as opposed to dealing with that pressure of not being accepted as, you know, they would rather take their life. It's that serious. And so we find ourselves living in a world, especially with the advent of social media, where it's more important to be liked and accepted than it is to have character or ability. Long as they like me. And so you have people who create an entire persona, an entire brand, because that's the sexy word nowadays. What's your brand? So you create this whole brand based on a lie. And then if you're good, you could sell that brand to the place where everybody buying into this. Oh, this person is so and so. That's their brand. Meanwhile, you're flamming straight through. But because you have been able to create this persona, this image, people will follow you. People will. I was watching a video of somebody, I think was either on YouTube or TikTok or one of them. I don't remember which one. And she was talking about the dangers of social media and this whole phenomenon of creating this brand. And she said that she was putting together this conference about, empowering young women and encouraging them to begin to think like a boss. And she reached out to this lady who she was following on social media, who it really seemed had her act together. I mean, this sister girl was always dressed in the finest clothes, and, her whole brand, her whole persona that she was putting out there on social media was this hugely successful woman. So she finally tracked this woman down, got a contact for her, and reached out to her and said, I would like you to be a part of this event that I'm putting together for young ladies about how to be a girl boss. And the woman was honest with her, and she said, Miss, right now I'm sleeping on my friend's couch. I don't even have a place of my own. But that's just the image I projected. But right now, I ain't there. So you got a whole mob of people who are willing to follow this woman, do whatever she say, mimic whatever she does, because they think she's all of that in a bag of chips. Meanwhile, she's sleeping on somebody's couch because she has been able to do a very effective job at letting her lies, if you want to call it that, grow wings. So she's been able to convince the masses that she got it all together. Meanwhile, this woman's sleeping on her friend's couch. The thing is, with social media especially, and somebody commented on me, and I'm going to see if I can find that comment because this person is right on track. Well, let me read a couple of your comments. It says, one of the comments comes from Shanika. She says, I think that people's opinions are mistaken as facts. Many people seem as if they cannot distinguish the difference. Facts cannot change and can be proven. Opinions are simply one's thoughts or feelings about something and can be changed based on emotions and experience. The fact that in today's world we need to have fact checkers, that's just somebody's job to be a fact checker, tells you that we live in a world where pretend is such a problem that you have to get people to now check to see if what you're saying is true, to try to diffuse a mass of people following you because of the misinformation that you're putting out there. Now, even with the fact checkers, somebody need to be checking some of the fact checkers. Because quite frankly, as a big business company, I could hire a fact checker to find the fact that I want them to find to dispute what is in fact truth. That's a whole other show. But the fact that you have to have fact checkers in this world today, especially for politicians, because a politician could spin a story, and by the time they finish with you, if they're good, that's how they win elections. By spinning a story. And if you don't have a good fact checker to check to see if what they say is true, because they can say that with all authority. Meanwhile, what they saying ain't true. I'll give you an example. And again, this isn't about these specifics that I'm using. I'm just using them as an example to reinforce the message I'm trying to get across. Y'all all remember the scandal as it relates to that whole situation with BPL and Darnell Osborne and the board being fired and all this kind of stuff. I was the general manager at ILTV at the time, Eyewitness News. And it was Eyewitness News at the time that broke the story about something going wrong within BPL between the board and the then minister. It was just, we got the story, we broke the story. Okay. In an effort to convince the masses that the particular board in place that was fired was wrong and that they were doing something that was not right, we had a whole minister of government go to the media and say to the media, one of the reasons why we fired Donnell Osborne is because she went and got makeup done for herself at the cost of $750. And she went and she used the corporation's money to put a private security surveillance system in her home. And so she was vilified based on what that minister said. Desmond Bannister, it is what it is. This is all on record, so I'm making up nothing about him. But he specifically told the media that Donnell Osborne spent $750 on makeup for herself. That's what he told the media. As a news agency, we did our due diligence. We found a copy of the invoice from the makeup artist, and we called the makeup artist to confirm as to whether or not what the minister told the media was true or not. Because let's face it, if you got a woman who is sitting up as the chairman of the board spending $750 makeup on herself, that is grounds for her to have to answer some questions, I would think. So we called the makeup artist. Makeup artist said, I don't know why they're lying on this woman, but that's not what happened. I never even met the woman. The $750 was for a photo shoot that involved 30 employees of BPL. That $750 covered 30 employees, makeup for 30 employees for BPL for a photo shoot. Now, if we did not do our due diligence and dig to find out whether or not what the minister of government said was true, because some people had already started to run with that narrative. You see, that's why they needed to fire her, because she gonna spend $750 on makeup. They ran with that story. If we did not take the time to do our due diligence, to dig further than what the minister said, would the truth ever have come out? But yet you had this whole mob of people who are willing to cancel this woman. And, I just recently did an interview with her for a project I'm working on, and she talked about how hard it was for her to find work after all of that went down because of the lies these people told on her. Because you have this mentality, well, it must be true because he's a minister of government and he wouldn't say if it wasn't true. So he can get up there and tell a complete lie. And because you don't have the capacity or the desire to dig any further to find out if this is true, you're going to join this bandwagon to cancel this woman based on the lie of what this man told. This is what this show is about today. Our willingness to jump on this bandwagon and destroy people's lives if we have to, just so we could be with the crowd. And don't let it be our political tribe. Oh Lord. Oh Lord. That's gospel. That's gospel. And you want to know why they are so successful. And when I say they, I'm talking successive, more than one administration. You want to know why they so successful at swinging us? We like to get swing. We like to get swing. Because long as it come out their mouth, be running with that. And anybody who dare stand up and say, hold on now. This ain't making no sense. You want to cut that person's throat. As opposed to stopping and thinking and saying, hold on now. I know you're a minister of government, right? But what you saying ain't adding up. No. I going with him because he's a minister and he ain't gonna lie on her. He ain't got no reason to lie. So you counsel somebody based on what one man say, whether he telling the truth or not, it don't matter. Here's the thing I was looking for, because this person is absolutely correct, because this is a part of the problem as well. Shanika says, our local news channels cannot even be trusted to give us accurate reports. Well, back in the day when I was a news reporter, we used to have to go out and find the information. We used to have to do our due diligence and research and dig. And it wasn't enough to just go to a press conference and come back and say, well, the person say this and the person say that. My editors was control that script back on my face and say, so where's the story? You comment to me with what they said, dig deeper. Where is the story? Nowadays, you got a lot of these news agencies that rely on social media for news. If it going viral, that's news. And I'm like, what's going on here? Where is the investigative journalistic skills? You got legitimate news agencies now relying on social media and what gone viral to determine what is news. That's the madness we dealing with. My encouragement today, people, is that we stop as best we can being a part of the herd, because it's this herd mentality that is keeping us back. And our politicians know it. They know this. They know that they only got to put something out there and the herd could jump on that, true or not, and go run with that. And which side of the story you run with depend on what color you wearing. If it's a red that telling the story, then the yellow guilty. I ain't checking no facts. Somebody in the red say that, so that's what it is. If I part of the yellow tribe and somebody in the yellow say that, that's gospel. And I ain't need nobody to straighten me or tell me nothing otherwise. That's what my person say in the yellow, so I going with that. Where is your ability to think? What happened to that? How have we become such herd followers to the degree that anybody who has an independent thought, you vilify? This is frightening to see what we have become as a nation based on this problem. You got some people who still believe in lies from decades ago. And you can't straighten them to save your life. And we need to realize that when lies take wings and fly, there are consequences that can last generations as a result. We got to do better, people. We got to do better. Let's take a break. When we come back on the other side of the break, we're going to go even deeper in this whole herd mentality phenomenon that is keeping us shackled as a people. And listen, if I imagine you're gone, so sad, Dubai. It is what it is. If the cap fit, wear it. If you are offended by what I'm saying today, maybe, just maybe, you part of a herd. Let's take this break. We'll be back after these words of our sponsors. This is GPS.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Your body's immune system is under constant pressure from things like stress, lack of exercise, and toxins in the environment. It's crucial to be proactive and support your immune system with the nutrients it needs to function effectively. But it's often hard to get these nutrients from food alone. Introducing fast-acting Zinc Plus Immune Support by Longevity. Unlike zinc-only supplements, Zinc Plus Immune Support builds on the proven power of zinc and adds complementary nutrients to give your immune system extra support. Vitamin D helps balance the effects of zinc, while our proprietary blend of natural fruit and root extracts provides the extra help your immune system needs to work against daily stressors. And we've included Longevity's exclusive plant-derived minerals to give your body the minerals it needs but can't get from food alone. And because Zinc Plus Immune Support is delivered in a great-tasting sugar-free berry-flavored lozenge, it encourages quicker absorption of all these nutrients into your body. Zinc Plus Immune Support. Zinc plus the extra support your body needs to promote a healthy immune system. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims, paints, and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
It's gotten harder and harder to get your daily requirement of vital nutrients from food alone. Without additional vitamin and nutrient support, your health and well-being can suffer drastically. That's why Z-Radical was specifically formulated. It combines a blend of antioxidant-rich vitamins, minerals, and botanicals with the protective powers of fucoidan to help fill the gaps from lack of nutrients in your foods. The core of Z-Radical is fucoidan, a naturally occurring polysaccharide that helps stimulate immune reaction, protecting you against inflammation and oxidative stress. We harvest this powerful mineral-rich nutrient from brown seaweed, harvested only from the world's most pristine ocean waters to ensure the purest quality. It's then extracted using cold process technology to ensure maximum levels of bioavailability. Then we add essential vitamins that help to protect your cardiovascular and nervous systems and are crucial for optimal immune and neurological function. Z-Radical also includes a proprietary blend of delicious antioxidant-rich fruits and berries. This great-tasting combination helps your body combat free radical imbalances that can contribute to a variety of degenerative conditions like arthritis and heart disease. Z-Radical. Experience the power of fucoidan with antioxidant-rich berries, 8 essential vitamins, and more to provide you with potent health benefits. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
Welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company on this beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Our topic today is when lies take wings and the consequences that follow. The numbers to call: 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272, and the WhatsApp line for text messages and calls is 801-0271. 801-0271. We're streaming live on Facebook on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. If you haven't already done so, please like and share the show. You can also find us on our official YouTube channels. And speaking of channels, Cable Bomb is channel 974 is where you'll find us. And I want to say a huge welcome to all of you who are tuned in by way of radio. You can also download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and check us out there. You'll be able to, check out past shows and, keep abreast of what's happening, not just with our show, but all of the programming that's available on Global 99.5 FM. And a huge welcome to all of you who are tuned in from here at home and around the world. And boy, when I say around the world, I mean around the world. We get people, from Africa, Asia, Europe, that are all tuned in. And I want to say thank you very much. I don't take it for granted that you're here. I want you to know that I appreciate you being a part of GPS and, listening to the show. You're making me feel a little decent, making me feel like I say something with sense. I mean, we always got to agree on everything. We could always, agree to disagree. Because I'm sure that there are times when I say some stuff that y'all don't agree with. But I appreciate you being here anyhow. This world would be a very boring place if everybody thought the same way all the time. You need diversity in order for us to have a meaningful life. Okay, so that being said, the show today, once again, is being called When Lies Take Wings and the Consequences That Follow. And this show today is all about the herd mentality. What happens when one story is put out there, one narrative is put out there, and everybody jump on that bandwagon because they don't want to stand alone. I will say this. The older you get, because as a younger person, oh man, I was so guilty of this. I used to be really, really worried about what other people think of me and what they can say. And, listen, I made some very stupid decisions in my life based on just that. And, I was I was on the air, I was in the public eye very much. And so my image was important to me. And, what are people going to say? And listen, the older you get, the less you care. I was watching an interview the other day with Vanessa Williams, first African-American woman to win the Miss America title. For those of you who are too young to know or don't remember, she was stripped of her title because some racy, very racy pictures came out of her. This was back in the 80s. So it was a different era then. And there was all this controversy that followed her, but she decided that her best revenge was success, and she went on to become a very successful actress, singer, etc. And I was watching an interview with her the other day. She just turned 60 as well. And the interviewer asked her, what is it? What do you feel about your life now that you're 60? And she said, as you get older, you give yourself more grace. Things that would have bothered you before don't seem to matter anymore. And this is so true. I get it now. The older you get, the less you care. But for a young person, especially in today's day and age, it's so important to be liked. They will do anything just to be liked. So, especially on social media, I got to be with the in crowd. I got to have so many likes in order to feel worthy. It's absolute madness, really. But there is some psychology behind this. this herd mentality, particularly as it relates to social media. And that's what this particular clip is about. Let's take a listen.
Why do people rage on Twitter? Well, for the same reasons you scream death at that little old lady for driving 5 under the speed limit and play different music at your party than you would at home alone. As General George S. Patton said, if everyone is thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking. Humans are social, we're pack animals, but sometimes our pack overwhelms our sense of individuality and we end up doing things because other people are doing them. Psychologists call this herd mentality. It describes a tendency to follow even when following leads to terrible results. Think riots after sporting events, runs on banks, the Salem witch trials, jumping off a bridge if all your friends did it, etc. Recently, a lion was killed by a Minnesota dentist, and people freaked. Like, freaked. The dentist's Yelp and Facebook pages were overrun with hate comments. Protesters stood outside his practice, and law enforcement had to step in to help the man who, as of this writing, has gone into hiding. The thing is, regardless of how the lion was killed, the circumstances of which are being investigated, and regardless of how people feel about big game hunting, why is he being attacked by strangers? The herd mentality has roots in social pressure. We all want to be accepted, and in times of stress, that pressure is even more powerful. When people join crowds, they lose a sense of individualism, causing lowered inhibitions and restraints. Studies show that people in a crowd feel less guilt, experience less judgment, and feel more support from their fellow de-individualized mob members. Peer pressure is a type of herd mentality. So is a riot or a pitchfork-wielding mob. But highly positive events like concerts and sporting events, those are herds too. I mean, it's unlikely that you would stand around chanting, shouting, and singing for a stranger's athletic prowess unless hundreds of other people were doing it too. Herd pressure is so powerful that we all likely listen to different music alone in our cars than we do when we're trying to belong to a social group. But speaking of cars, there's a strange thing that happens when humans enter a car that's connected to this whole thing. They become de-individualized. Basically, they lose their sense of self, similar to being in a mob. This is why road rage happens and people yell horrible things when they feel even a twinge of annoyance while driving. They aren't acting like their normal selves because they are not their normal selves at all. This sense of de-individualization is powerful but fragile. Studies by the American Automobile Association, AAA, found people in convertibles don't exhibit the same rage as those with tinted windows, because you can see the convertible guy. De-individualization was summed up nicely by 19th century psychologist Gustave Le Bon. In a crowd, a man descends several rungs in the ladder of civilization. Isolated, he may be a cultivated individual. In a crowd, he is a barbarian. To bring it all back, people using computers are de-individualized and are still susceptible to herd mentality and also something else called positive herding. The journal Science found that once a few people click like on something, other people will click like on that too. They call this positive herding. According to their findings, positive herding can drive 25% more likes on posts on social media. People don't even know what the post is, and it honestly doesn't even matter. We recognize that that's popular and we want to be on the bandwagon. And according to another study from the University of Sussex, joining this bandwagon makes people feel empowered because they're part of this greater whole. Thanks to the global nature of the internet, this is a mob that anyone can be a part of from anywhere. And when you extend mass social pressure, de-individualization, and herd mentality down onto the internet, things spin out of control fast. And that's where this dentist is living now. The reason people are so crazed isn't necessarily because they actually care, though 5% of them probably do, based on the research from Leeds University, where they found 95% of people will follow 5% in a crowd, but instead because they're following an intense need for social belonging and feel de-individualized enough that they're not going to experience guilt when directing terrible and offensive language at a stranger. It's sort of like road rage, but via Twitter, Facebook, Yelp, and wherever else. If you're worried that you might be part of the problem, think critically. Stop and wonder if your comment will add something to the discussion or if it's just to feel like you're belonging. If you're not adding a solution or a new perspective or a piece of important information, then perhaps you're just jumping on the rage dog pile.
How many of you out there are just jumping on the rage dog pile? How many of you? How many of you are afraid to say, no, this is not right. No, this does not make sense. No, 2 and 2 still make 4. How many of you? We see now this world that we live in, I like to say the imaginary friends have taken over the world, where it's more important for you to go with the crowd than risk being canceled. This cancel culture. I have never heard so much foolishness in all my life. Who could cancel me? Because I have an opinion that differs from yours. And what amazes me is that some of these people who are so quick to cancel other people because their opinion differs from theirs are the very ones who are complaining about being canceled. We live in a world that is so dangerous nowadays because of this herd mentality foolishness that you will know something to be a lie. You know it's a lie, but you're going to go with the lie because everybody else is going with the lie. And we even see now where big corporations are endorsing individuals, etc., because they are with the popular narrative. So just so, you know, my brand could be seen to be with the popular narrative, I can endorse this person, even if I don't believe what that person is saying is true, just because that person is popular right now. And I don't want to be seen to not be on the side of the popular. So in spite of me having eyes to see that this is a bunch of foolishness, I go with the foolishness. Because I don't want to be canceled. This is the madness we're living in right now. And again, this is not just a Bahamas problem, even though we have taken it to another level in terms of our willingness to be a part of a mob or herd just to fit in. You know, we've taken it to the level now where it's not enough for us to be a part of a herd or a mob, but we seem to get extra pleasure out of drawing the herd with negativity. So the viler we are, the better. Because when we are vile, we know that we can draw even a bigger crowd. And so we go with a vile behavior just so we could draw the crowd or be with the crowd. That's the Bahamas we live in today. And we wonder why, in many ways, our country seems to be going to hell in a handbasket, full speed ahead, where we refuse to acknowledge truth. Because there's only one true north. And, you know, in the world we live in today, they say, oh, your truth is your truth, and my truth is my truth, and his truth is his truth, and her truth is her truth. There's only one true north. There's only one true north. But before we acknowledge that, we go with the crowd. And God forbid if you're on the wrong side of that narrative. The Hamans could put a story on you, boy. By the time they finish with you, you're going to want to leave the country. You may have to. This is the world we live in, and this is the Bahamas we live in today. It's utter madness. And unless we want to get beyond this place, because, you know, we have a lot of young people now, especially saying, oh, we ain't the same as our parents' generation, and we woke. Some of y'all need to wake up some more, because some of y'all, it's all about the brand. Whether the brand is based on truth or not doesn't matter, long as you're putting out this brand. You know, back in my day, I used to say, you know, the person being in the public eye, it's very necessary for you to create hype. You got to create hype. You know, y'all call it brand today. We call it creating hype back then. I say, man, that's a part of the job. You got to create hype. But The danger is when you start to believe your own hype. Now you're in problem. This is why some people, politicians especially, all of a sudden it's get to their head. And all of a sudden they're too important to speak to you or acknowledge you or whatever, because they believe in their own hype. They let this thing get to their head. So whatever brand they create around themselves, whether it's based in truth or not, they start believing that foolishness. You got to catch yourself. Because, you know, to how somebody else lied to you is one thing, but when you lie to yourself, it's a serious problem. And I dare say that is a part of the problem we'll be faced with some of our politicians. They believe in their own hype. And so all of a sudden, they're too important to pay any attention to you or to acknowledge you. But no. They're above you. People, it's only one true north. And we got to stop letting people, whether it's politicians, whether it is mad scientists, whether it is some stranger on social media, I don't care who it is, we got to stop letting people swing us into following foolishness just so we can fit in with the crowd. We got to stop. The only reason why, or a major reason why, we find ourselves in the position we are in as a nation today is because of the herd mentality. Because we refuse to say, no, my brother, no, my sister, you are wrong. Over here will ruffle no feathers. And, you know, you can't say that to them because, you know, they could be a little petty and they can hold it against you. Really? I don't blame them. I blame us for allowing them to get away with the foolishness. Because we so quick to justify wrong. Just because we don't want to be outside that crowd. We want to have the safety of being in that herd. So we can see wrong and we can turn our eye the other way. Because standing up and saying, no, this is wrong, oh, that's a dangerous place to be. Because now I don't have the protection of the herd. This is the world we live in today. And I want to encourage you today to break free of that herd, to start to think and stop accepting the foolishness just because somebody offering it to you. We're going to take a break. And then on the other side of the break, I'm going to use a very real example that took place many years ago, but shows you the power of herd thinking and how destructive it can be. We're going to talk about that on the other side of the break. Stay with us. This is GPS.
Global paradigm shift will return after this.
At Lee Air, safety is our #1 priority. Flying since 1996, we offer scheduled flights into Fresh Creek and Mangrove Key Andros and Great Harbor Key, Berry Island, twice daily, 7 days a week. Affordable charter services are also available to anywhere in the Bahamas and the Caribbean. Lee Air Charter Services. Call 225-3267, 702-7127, or 322-1317 for reservations.
Understanding your microbiome, also known as your gut ecosystem, can change everything you thought you knew about nutrition, digestion, immunity, and metabolism. Keeping your gut ecosystem healthy and balanced is essential. Ultimate Microbiome by Longevity was specifically formulated to optimize this ecosystem. It provides the advanced support your gut needs through prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic supplementation. Our unique blend of probiotics includes Lactobacillus and Plantarum, healthy bacteria that can help prevent harmful bacteria from taking over your gut. Increasing your gut's population of beneficial bacteria creates a more balanced gut microbiome, which has been shown to aid in weight loss, skin health, sleep, mood, and may even help with seasonal allergies. Ultimate Microbiome also promotes the production of postbiotics. Postbiotics are key to help regulate your gastrointestinal health. To enhance digestion, Digizyme Multi-Enzyme Complex, a blend of 5 specific enzymes, has been added to Ultimate Microbiome. It can help break down food so your body can better absorb nutrients. Plus, we've added our proprietary I-26 Hyperimmune Egg Powder to aid in the elimination of disease-causing gut bacteria and help your body balance its immune response. Ultimate Microbiome, the scientific, proprietary, and holistic approach to gut health that helps optimize your body's entire gut ecosystem. To learn more, contact your Longevity associate.
For all your building needs, it's Carib Construction and Project Management on Gladstone Road. We build it all: schools, homes, hotels, and more, including structures requiring a Phase 3 electrical contractor. We also provide project management services. The first step towards your dream building begins at Carib Construction and Project Management. Call us at 376-1556 or 341-4466.
One of the things I love about the mailboat is their relationship with Bahamas Air. I can earn travel points on my international freight and redeem them when I fly.
For me, online shopping is easy, with Mailboat's U.S. addresses and regular freight delivery to Nassau. Plus, I can always prepay customs and freight, and they always notify me when my package arrives.
Yeah, a lot of people think the Mailboat is just for shipping, but they also offer a safe and secure storage facility at affordable rates, all in a central, convenient location.
We also offer passenger service into Freeport multiple times per week with a seating capacity of over 450 persons. With family movies on large screens, one hot meal included, and on-board lounge for snacks and soft drinks. We're the Mailboat. We're bridging people, products, and places.
Executive Printers is your one-stop shop for all your branding and customization needs. Letterheads, envelopes, business cards, invoices, share and gift certificates, rubber stamps, vouchers, funeral programs, brochures, flyers, banners, and promotional items like mugs, water bottles, mouse pads, and key rings, all with personable service and great quality. No project is too small or too large. For great turnaround and competitive pricing, make an executive decision. Call us at 393-5011.
Welcome back to GPS, Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm in your company. The telephone numbers to call 3260271, 3260271, 3260272, 3260272. The WhatsApp line for messages and calls is 801-0271, 801-0271. We're streaming live on the official Michelle Malcolm and Global 99.5 FM pages. Please like and share the show if you haven't already done so. You can also check us out on Cable Bahamas channel 974 or on our official YouTube channels. You can download the Global 99.5 FM app to your smart device and check us out there. Or, last but not least, tune in by way of radio, 99.5 FM on the dial here in Providence. A huge welcome to all of you who are tuned in, especially those of you tuned in from throughout the Family Islands, Grand Bahama, and across the world. All right, so let me look at a couple of your comments before I get into this next example of this herd mentality that can be so very dangerous. Let's see. Okay, let's start here. Let's see. So Shanika says, when your reputation is tarnished, there is no coming back. People will always be thinking negatively. I don't know if I'd say there's no coming back, but it takes effort. It takes effort. Because you do have some people who, they're just going to run with the place later. They ain't checking to find out nothing else, you know. Shanika says, yes, Mom, I agree. You and a few others I grew up watching were real journalists. I don't know what's going on with this new crew. Lloyd says, they stopped thinking the day they started getting those crumbs from the corrupt PLP and FNM. Okay. Sandra says, we still in trouble from the older people who said in their way. I had one tell me I from the old school. Maiming, don't expect me to change, just how I am. Okay. Let's see. This one is from Rose. Rose says, I don't think I would have ever want to be a journalist because when you are reporting the news, the victims be right there watching you all reporting. I say they might be waiting for me outside. That's scary. Okay. Shanika says, I think for myself, I listen, analyze, dissect the info, and ask the appropriate questions before I respond. She also says diversity is good, but it should not create division. Let's see. Let's scroll down through some of these. Shanique also says, you hit the nail right on the head. I always say that the younger people, especially my kids, I say to them that when you get my age, you will see how trivial some things are. They always say that I have no friends. They ask why I don't go out or hand out. I say I've been there, done that. I'm not missing nothing. Okay. One or two more comments. Let's see. This one is from D'Amico. He says, I see that in teenagers a lot. They're angels at home and a mob when they're with their peers. Yeah, peer pressure is very real, especially for the younger ones. See, man, especially nowadays with social media. Oh, they gotta they have to get likes, otherwise they think their life over. Shadika says, anyone that knows me can tell you that I am a shooter. You may not like me, but you will always get the brutal truth if you bring it to me. Okay. All right. So I'll try to keep putting up your comments as I go into this next segment of the show. All right. So some of you are way too young to know anything about this, but I'm going to give you a little bit of history today. There's a man by the name of, or was a man by the name of James Warren Jones, also known as Jim Jones. And he was an American preacher who led the People's Temple between 1955 and 1978. And what he called revolutionary suicide. Jones and his members of his inner circle planned and orchestrated a mass murder suicide in his remote jungle commune in Jonestown, Guyana, on November 18, 1978. Jones and the events that occurred at Jonestown have had a defining influence on society's perception of cults. Now, you'll often hear me say on this show, I ain't drinking that Kool-Aid. That is in reference, for those of you who don't know what I was talking about, to Jim Jones. And what happened at Jim Jones's commune is that he convinced a whole lot of people that the end had come and that they should all just drink this poison Kool-Aid. The Kool-Aid had been spiked with poison, and they should all just die together. And they found, I forget how many people, but it was a lot of people. Women, men, boys, girls, babies, all dead as a result of drinking this poisoned Kool-Aid. And some say he committed suicide at the end, but I remember hearing or seeing an interview with one of his security guards, because there were a handful of them, because there was an audio recording, I believe, of what took place that day. I don't remember if there was a video recording found anywhere, but there was definitely an audio recording, and you could hear the chaos and the screaming and the crying and all this. Some were saying, "No, no, no, this is wrong, this is wrong," and other people were saying, "Now you owe this man your life. If this man say drink this Kool-Aid, you gotta drink this Kool-Aid." Babies, toddlers, boys, girls, teenagers, men, women drank this poison Kool-Aid. Now, I remember seeing an interview with one of the security guards, because he had a full security detail, who pretended to drink the Kool-Aid just to see what he would do, meaning Jim Jones. And in this interview that I saw, because some people say Jim Jones committed suicide, but in this particular interview that I saw, the security guard said he pretended to drink the poison Kool-Aid to see what Jim Jones would do. And when everybody else had drank this Kool-Aid and everybody was foaming and dying, Jim Jones was about to jump in this vehicle and drive off into the sunset. And the security guard is the one who shot him and killed him. That's what I heard in an interview. I don't remember how long ago that was that I saw that interview, but the security guard who pretended to drink the Kool-Aid just to see what Jim Jones would do said he was the one who shot Jim Jones dead when he tried to leave the scene after convincing all these people to drink that poison Kool-Aid. Can you imagine? You know the Kool-Aid got poison. You see people dropping around you left, right, and center from drinking this Kool-Aid. But you so convinced by this mob mentality that everybody else drinking the Kool-Aid, so I gotta drink this Kool-Aid too. And you drink that poison Kool-Aid and die, all based on a lie. But this one charismatic man spewed, you willing to lay down your life just to be a part of this crowd. Now you may say, boy, Michelle, they was crazy people. I'd never do that. Really? Some of y'all doing that every day of your life. Every day of your life, you drinking poison Kool-Aid. You going with the crowd. Just because that's the popular thing to do. And I might notice wrong and I might see it wrong, but I can't take the chance of not being liked. I don't want nobody to single me out. So I gotta drink this poison Kool-Aid. I refer back to what happened over the last couple of years. But I gotta be careful how they say, because next thing you know, they'll put me in Facebook jail or YouTube jail. So you gotta be careful how you say things. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Then we was, encouraged to stay at home. I'm encouraged to wear these things on our face. I'm encouraged to, y'all understand where I'm going with this. I don't want to single it out. I don't want to say it because next thing you know, I in Facebook jail or YouTube jail. Right? You willing to drink poison Kool-Aid just because everybody else drinking it. And anybody who try to tell you, mind that Kool-Aid got poison, you will attack that person and tell them, shut up, shut up, shut up. You don't hear what you have to say. Shut up. We drinking this Kool-Aid. And if you don't drink it, that's your business. But don't tell us what to do. And now we see the consequences of that. And some of you all still in denial about the consequences that we see all around us as a result of that poison Kool-Aid. Some of you are still in denial. So before you jump down on them people in Jim Jones' cult and say, oh, I'll never do that. Oh, you sure? You sure? Because some of y'all sipping on that poison Kool-Aid right now. Anything these people tell y'all, you're running with that. And you got to know that Kool-Aid got poison. You got to know that. You can't be that slow to not know. And maybe some of y'all are special, okay? Everybody ain't on this, you know. But you got to know some of the things these people telling you all is lies. You got to know that. But you don't want to ruffle no feathers. You want to be with the in crowd, so you can go along with that, because that's what everybody's saying and everybody doing it. So don't be so quick to judge some people in Jim Jones' camp, because some of y'all drinking poison Kool-Aid every day. And my encouragement to you today, people, is to wake up and stop following people blindly just because they got crowd behind them. Because it could be a lot of people and all of them wrong. Think for yourself. Analyze information that is brought before you. Stop running with the crowd just because it's a crowd, because you're scared to stand alone. And then at the end of the day, you catching hell because of the decision you made to follow the crowd when you knew that the crowd was wrong. And maybe some of y'all don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But I want to encourage you, if you're listening to me today, don't be afraid to question. Don't be afraid to say, hold on now. Wait. How does it making sense? Explain it to me. Make it make sense. Don't be afraid to do that. My mother always used to say when I was growing up, you and you're talking about fitting in and following the crowd. If everybody go to the Paradise Island Bridge and jump off, you can jump off too. You ain't got enough sense to say this ain't make no sense. Stop following the crowd just to fit in, especially when you know better. But oh, I don't want them to cancel me. Child, try all your hardest. You can't cancel me. Because you ain't make me in the first place to be able to cancel me. I don't care what you think. Maybe you could cancel somebody who cares. But when you get to the point where you don't care, who could cancel you? We only see wrong happening because people will see the wrong and refuse to stand up and do something about it. That's how evil persists. Because you know it's wrong, but you're scared to stand up and say, no, Emperor, you're naked. You're wrong. My encouragement to you today, please, people, we need people who will tell the truth, who will not be willing to drink that Kool-Aid so willingly. We need you. And if you ain't willing to stand for what is right and stand for truth, then you need to stop complaining that you see things. What you making noise for? If you ain't willing to stand and say, no, this is right. No, this is wrong. Evil only persists when good men stand by and do nothing. You see the wrong, but you too scared. You're too yellow back. You got your tail between your legs because you scared to stand up and say, right is right. Oh, we need you to say this for us. Oh, that's what time it is? That's how this goes? You won't push somebody in the front to say what you scared to say? Them days over. Enough of that foolishness. If you, what Finland say? You ain't going to fight the country, you don't deserve to have it? True words have never been spoken, particularly in terms of the environment in which we live now. Because some of y'all see this country heading in the wrong direction, but you ain't got the backbone to stand up and say, right is right and wrong is wrong. Stop it. We can't get no better unless we as a collective come together to make the changes we want to see, to be the changes we want to see. Stop looking for a hero. Look in the mirror and be the hero you're searching for. We got to take a break. Let's take this final break and we'll be back to wrap things up after this.
Global Paradigm Shift will return after this.
Blood sugar levels play a key role in your appetite, weight gain, and overall health. When you have a blood sugar spike, you can feel confused, dizzy, and even have increased cravings. Eating carbohydrates, sugary or fatty foods, and not exercising can all cause blood sugar spikes. But now you have help in managing blood sugar levels. Sweeties by Youngevity was designed to help support healthy blood sugar levels so you can power through your day. It's a synergistic blend of minerals, herbs, and nutrients that have been proven to support healthy blood sugar levels. Sweeties includes chromium, an essential trace mineral that's known for its contribution to healthy blood sugar levels and improved metabolism of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Cinnamon bark has been included for its naturally occurring antioxidants and support of a healthy heart. And we've even added gymnema. It's been used in Ayurveda for centuries to help promote healthy blood sugar. All the ingredients in Sweeties work together to give the best support available for blood sugar control. Sweeties, the blood sugar support supplement from Youngevity that helps control cravings and manage blood sugar levels through your day. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
Welcome to Sunshine Auto, the hardest place on the planet for a rims fence and tires.
We are your auto superstore for rims, Lexani, Azaras, Trueform, Western, Lux, Fuel, Tracklight, Tough, Rough Racing, Velocity, Mud, All-Terrain, and low-profile tires. Cars, homes, and commercial window tinting. At Sunshine Auto, we put God first and customer is king.
Blessed love.
As you age, factors like health, weight, diet, and lifestyle can all impact your bones, joints, and general mobility. Even everyday exercise can lead to wear and tear on your body. Over time, you might start to experience stiffness or pain due to damaged joints or connective tissue. Ultimate Glucogel by Youngevity was created to help you limit the effects of wear on your joints. It delivers a daily dose of collagen-rich gelatin your body needs for joint elasticity and maintenance. Ultimate Glucogel contains a 1-to-1 ratio of gelatin and glucosamine sulfate, which is a key building block of your bone matrix, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, and connective tissue. Gelatin's unique blend of amino acids not only help with muscle and joint health, but also has been shown to provide additional benefits for the brain, skin, and hair. Ultimate Glucogel. Natural, optimal daily support for joint health. To learn more, contact your Youngevity associate.
99.5.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back to GPS Global Paradigm Shift on Global 99.5 FM. Michelle Malcolm here in your company today on this Tuesday afternoon. We only have about 4 minutes left in the show. And so the show today, in case you tuned in late, please go back and like and share the show on Facebook. If you tuned in late, I'd like to invite you to watch the show from the very beginning to get a gist of what it is that we were talking about today. The show today was called When Lies Take Wings and the Consequences Thereafter. And the show today was really about the herd mentality that seems to be plaguing people around the world, but here in the Bahamas, we take it to another level. In terms of following the crowd, just for the sake of not ruffling feathers or for being popular, or just not taking the risk of standing alone for what you truly believe, but just going along with the crowd. This is a very dangerous place to live in, and yet this is where we are. And so I would like to encourage you all to stop regressing into the herd mentality, because fostering independent thought and reflection can reduce the risk of what is known as sheeple behavior. We need to ask questions, consider our options, and educate ourselves in order to make well-informed decisions, even if it means running the risk of looking foolish or standing alone. Ain't nothing wrong with standing alone, people. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Don't be afraid to break free from the herd. Because whereas you may think that there is safety in the herd, it may seem so at that moment, but I dare say that later on down the road, you will see that being a part of that herd was really damaging, did more damage than good. So I want to encourage you all to break free of the herd, break free of the mob mentality, break free of being a part of the sheeple crowd, that you just going with the flow. Right, wrong, or in between, I go with the crowd. You can't live your life like that. The day will come when you realize, as you look back on your life, that you would have been harming yourself by not standing for the truth. And I dare say, harming future generations. So my encouragement to you today is, break free of the herd. Break free of the herd. And yeah, the older you get, the easier it is. So I am speaking right now. I wish I had known this 40 years ago. But it is what it is. The older you get, the more you get it, the less you care. So have some grace for yourself and allow yourself to be a free thinker and see how far that will take you in this life. That's my time, people. I got to get out of here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Tomorrow's Wellness Wednesday. Nice of y'all is tuning me off every Wednesday. I get it, but you keep tuning me out until you get sick. Then all of a sudden you're blowing up my phone. Boy, Miss Malcolm, somebody tell me I need to call you. Yeah, you should have been listening to Wellness Wednesday show all along. Please tune in tomorrow so you can learn how to take better care of yourself holistically. And until then, I'm Michelle Malcolm. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. Take care and have a good afternoon.
Global 99.5 FM reminds our listeners that the views